Well, let's talk more about lithium and its role in electric vehicles with Nitesh Shah, who's Head of Commodities and Macroeconomic Research at WisdomTree Europe. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining us. So as we heard in that report, lithium important for electric vehicles because it features in the batteries they use, perhaps why it's been one of the best performing commodities of the last 2 years. But prices have now dipped. Why?
Yeah, I think one of the reasons behind that is the supply chain is somewhat complex, and last year we saw lots of new production capacity on the downstream side, so processing all the lithium chemicals into the final product, but the mining activity hadn't really caught up. That's why the prices rose so much, because there's a lot of demand at the downstream and the mining activity was quite slow. Now what we're finding that the mining activity has caught up, so it's, the supply-demand balance is kind of evening out. So we may see a little bit of weakness in prices going into this year, but the long-term outlook is for lots more electric vehicles, which are the primary users of these batteries, to be on the road, and we could be in a quite deep deficit in future years if that investment in the capital expenditure, both on the mining and processing side, doesn't speed up.
So as things stand, lithium is crucial for the transition to net zero because of its use in part in batteries for electric vehicles. How important could this material be?
I mean, I think it's right now, if we look at the technologies that can help decarbonize transportation, they're relatively few, and one of the key things is electric cars, which rely on batteries. There are other technologies like hydrogen, so using hydrogen fuel cells can allow for zero emissions at the tailpipe of a car, and if that hydrogen can be made in an environmentally friendly manner through possibly using renewable energy to produce it, that could act as a competing factor and therefore take off demand units from lithium going forward. But for now, most of the technology has been developed in lithium-ion batteries, so that we expect to be the mainstay of the technological solutions for the next decade or so. But even within that, you are seeing some different types of lithium-ion batteries which use lithium in different quantities.
So if this does remain the mainstay for electric vehicles, also lithium used in mobile phones, other electronics, is there enough lithium to make all of this? So,
there's no doubt there's enough lithium in the world, underneath the ground and, either in rocks or in brine. That seems to be, there. It's the pace at which it's being extracted is the key thing. Now, what we may find is that, like we have right now, we've got a little bit of an oversupply right now in the very short term, because of the, what I explained earlier on, it was a little bit of mismatch in terms of processing and the mining activity. That could weaken price. Now, the problem with weakening prices, it tends to send a signal to the producers to maybe slow down. If that happens, then we may have problems going further down the line in terms of not enough availability later on. So there's a kind of a synchronization game that needs to be played to allow for the price signal to be high enough to keep production going without destroying future demand. Because if the price of lithium becomes too high, then you may slow down the transition in the first place. So that's a tricky thing, and that's the thing that a lot of commodities have to contend with, is synchronizing everything across the production chain.
Nitesh Shah from WisdomTree Europe, good to talk to you again. Thank you for joining us today.
You're most welcome.